back to my channel. Thank you so much to my subscribers. Welcome newcomers. I hope you like what you see, and if so, be part of this journey with us by hitting that subscription button. It is free. You know that, or you should know that. And please, if you like the video, give a thumbs up on the video, not just in my creations, but whoever's creations you're watching. We all depend on you to keep growing our channels and to keep putting out these beautiful patterns for you guys for free. And of course, a lot of hours dedication to have these beautiful patterns put out. I would like to mention I do have a Facebook private group. You're more than welcome to join if you have a profile pic. And what else? I have Instagram, TikTok, crochet page. Everything is listed below in the description box. You can follow me through there. And if you're stuck in a project and need help, you can also message me through there. If you have some of these social medias, it's much easier to get back to you then and quicker than on here on YouTube. Okay, so I would like to mention that the threads I use, these are Portugal threads. They're 4-ply, 100% cotton threads. We go by number, not by name of colors. So this one is like an aqua greenish, something like that. 44. So that's the color number 44. These are similar to Aunt Lydia number 3, of course, better quality. Aunt Lydia number 3 cotton. If you use Aunt Lydia number 3, your patterns will become bigger. Okay, in case you don't have these type or can't not get access to these type, then you can double or triple your Aunt Lydia number 10. Remembering also, if your tension is loose, go a hook or two higher not higher, sorry, a hook or two lower than your normal, so you can tighten up your tension. If your tension is too tight, then go a hook or two higher so you can loosen up your tension. I use most of the time 2.75 hook, a small one to tuck in loose ends, and a pair of scissors. A lot of you ask me for my threads. I do ship them out. They're $12 a ball. They're 100 grams, 300 to 325 yards. The shipping is included, minimum order of 6 balls. Okay, that's at least to pay for the shipping because I gain nothing from it. It's horrendous, the shipping out here in Europe. Okay, so we're going to get started. Please, sharing is caring. If you can, invite your friends and family to be part of this journey with us. Thank you so much, and blessings and hugs to all of you. Let's get started. Okay, everyone, so I've been requested to do some Christmas stuff, and I thought, why not, and do the Christmas doily placemats. You can use them as frame them, placemats, or I made 2 different sizes. I made the medium and the small. You can do the dessert coffee placemat on this one, or, after you finished your dinner with your family and friends, use these for the coffee dessert, or you can use these for the placemat orders, the entrees and things like that, or whatever you want, just a regular doily to decorate around. So I hope you're going to enjoy this tutorial. It's very simple to create, but of course a little bit of detailing. We need to make the eyes, the nose, and the little one for the hat. These are double crochets, and the smaller ones are half double crochets because it's a smaller pattern. If you're going into a bigger pattern, then you need to do the double crochet for bigger. Like in this case, I did double and singles. Double on this one, half and singles, half double crochet and singles. And this one, I did the double crochets and half around so it can become bigger. Okay, so these are 2 different sizes. This one has 9 rows total. Okay, the 9th row I've changed into white so we can define the face. And this one has 11 rows total with the white here. You want to go bigger. That's what we're going to do. We're going to make a bigger one. So I'm going to do one bigger than this you can make it a nice centerpiece, table centerpiece with a nice big one. These are all glued on hot gun glue. Transparent glue is the way to go, not the white one, because it will come out when you wash. Okay, and of course it's done separately, and then I hot glue them. The lips are done just slip stitch. I've taken right at the row edge and slip stitch about 9 double crochets for the lips. So very simple. This is done separate, and then of course you're adding the top of the hat on to the pattern, to this here from the hat. Okay, so we're going to get started. I use a 4-ply 100% cotton thread, similar to Aunt Lydia number 3. Your Aunt Lydia number 3 will be bigger. So I'm just going to give you roughly my measurement of my small one, which is 25 centimeters, and my medium, 28. So I don't know how big I'm going to go on the big one, but just to let you know. So we'll need black, we'll need off-white or cream to define the face, and the white, and of course the red. Okay, I will be using a 2.75 hook, a small one to tuck in loose ends, of course, and a pair of scissors. People, please turn your closed caption, your CC on. I don't write patterns. I know I'll be asked like a million times over and over and over again for the written pattern. I don't write patterns as I have a hard time reading them. So turn your closed caption on. The stitches I'll be calling will be written down here below. That's why I have the auto fill thing. When I speak, you can put whatever language you are, and you can pause the video, take notes, and take it from there. I will explain to you how to go bigger on your rows, or smaller on your rows, I should say. And if you're going to have a hard time, since I'm going to do the big one, and then as I go, I'll tell you, okay, this size is for the small one, and this size is for the medium. And all you have to do is repeat the same thing as we're going to do on the tutorial. But if you guys have a very hard time with it, let me know. And if I need to do a tutorial on these sizes, then I will. Okay. Please be kind and gentle, not just to me, but to anybody's video that you watch. We go a long way to create and design these pieces for you guys for free. There's no need for rudeness. I don't tolerate that. The channel won't tolerate that. So be kind. Kindness goes a long way. Okay, thank you so much. God bless. Let's get started. So the first thing you want to do is that magic circle. In case you still have a hard time with it, you can do a 4 to 5 chain, depending up on your tension. Now, if your tension is too tight, go a hook or 2 size bigger. If it's too loose, then go a hook or 2 size smaller. So I've closed in with a single and 1 chain. That's my first double crochet. Coming back in this circle, I will have a total of 12 double crochets. This is row 1. I've done my 12 double crochets. I'm pulling in my magic circle, closing that little hole up. I'm going to come on my my single that I have here, not single, my stitch that I did a single and 1 chain. My chain, sometimes my words just don't want to come out, does it? Okay, so I've closed in with slip stitch. I'm going into the next double crochet, and I'm going to stretch my thread a bit, and I'm going to do a single and 1 chain. You can do a 2 chain if you'd like. Coming back in the same one, and I'm doing a normal double crochet. So now I have 2 double crochet. Why am I doing it this way? Because you won't see, it won't be noticeable so much when you're doing the 3 chain going up. But if you're comfortable just with the 3 chain, go ahead. Next space, 2 double crochet. So this row 2 is 2 double crochet per stitch. That means 2 together in the same stitch. You should have a total of 24 double crochets. This is row 2. I've done my 24 double crochet on my second row. I'm going to grab right in that chain space that I did single one chain. Now you want to make sure you grab the 2 loops behind it, okay? Don't just grab the outer loop here, because if you do, it's going to show a hole. Grab the 2 loops and tighten up as you close it so it can be nice and firm, and you won't see as much as the chain. Okay, going up again. I'm coming into the next double crochet with a single, okay, but I'm stretching my thread and a chain. Also stretch my chain. Coming in the same space, I'm doing another double crochet, so 2 together on the same stitch. Next stitch, 1 double crochet alone. Next one, 2 together in the same stitch. So these rows are going to be like that until I don't know how long I'm going to do my centerpiece, but 2 together, 1 alone. This is the 3rd row. 4th row, 2 together, 2 alone. 5th row, 2 together, 3 alone. Now, I've had a comment this week, someone commenting that I'm not a good instructor, I don't do all the rows. What's the point of doing all the rows when you're just repeating the same thing over and over again? You guys don't understand that it takes so much time consuming on my behalf and so much memory on my phone. So instead of like doing 2-3 videos, I'm trying to cut down as much as I can so it doesn't take too much time on the videos either. So 2 double crochets on the same stitch, next stitch, 1 alone. 2 double crochets together, next one, 1 alone, 2 together, 1 alone, 2 together, 1 alone. Next row we'll have 2 together, 2 alone, okay? So 2 together and 1 alone. I'll meet you at the beginning of the next row. Okay, so I finished doing the 2 together on the same stitch. Now remember, don't forget that if you're doing it this way like I am, you cannot forget this one that you've went and you've jumped over to the next, because if you do, you're going to be missing count. So what I like to do is I'm not coming directly in that double crochet. I'm coming where I started that single, and I'm just going to close it up right in there. So where I have that single, I'm going to do my 1 double crochet, and then I have that chain, and I'm going to slip stitch right through it. So basically it doesn't look like you have chains going up, okay? Going into row 4, again, I'm going into the next double crochet, but you can just go ahead and do your chain 3 going up your regular way for your double crochet. I'm coming back in and doing another double crochet. Next stitch, 1 double crochet, next stitch, another double crochet alone, and on this next one, 2 together. So this row 4 is 2 together and 2 alone. Next row, 2 together and 3 alone. I'm going to continue, so it keeps increasing like that. 2 alone, next row 3 alone, next row 4 alone, next row 5 alone, 6 alone, 7 alone, and always 2 together at the end of that. I'm not going to record all the rows because it's just a repeat of what I'm telling you. And so I'm going to continue to do mine, and then you could always fast forward and see how many rows I have done. And you should be watching a bit ahead of the video before you create anything, because mistakes can be done. We are human. We make mistakes. Instead of frogging, taking everything down, we can just fix everything right on the spot. Little tricks here and there, and this is how you learn how to maneuver certain projects that you are doing instead of taking all the rows down. Okay, so I'm going to continue mine. So don't forget, row 4, 2 together, 2 alone. Row 5, 2 together, 3 alone. I'll meet you at the end of my rows. I don't know how many yet, but probably 13, or 15, I will see. Okay. Okay, you guys, so this size is for the small Santa Claus, which we need 9 rows of these. I'm on my 8th row. That means that you would cut your thread and go into the white to do your 9th row. Okay, so this is 8 rows, and then you would go into the 9th row and do in white already for the small Santa Claus, doing back loops only. Okay, your 9th row, you're using only the back loops, and you're still doing 2 together, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. On your 8th, you do 2 together. That's for the small Santa Claus, and you can advance ahead to this part here, which will be the same, except I will have more because it's a bigger pattern, but it's the same concept. Okay, so you'd cut your thread here and use the white. Okay, everyone, for the medium size, you would do 10 rows. Your 11th row would be already with the white. For the medium Santa Claus, you would have 10 rows of the cream color, and your 11th row is the white. That means 2 together, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. Should have chosen back here to see better. So 2 together, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. On your 10th, you'd add 2 together. That's on the white, and use back loops only to get that face effect. Okay, and then you can just again advance the video to the motifs here as I'm going to create. Okay, everyone, so far I have 14 rows going into my 15th row, but I'm starting to use the white. Okay, this is my 15th row. I'm coming in that second double crochet, and I'm using the white now. Now, if you want to go bigger, do odd numbers like I'm doing now. So I'm at row 15. That means you want to go bigger. Row 17, 19, and so on. Okay, so I did a single and 1 chain. I'm coming back in with back loops only. I get distracted when I'm talking, people. I'm sorry. So we're going to use back loops only. So slip stitch knot. I get very distracted when I'm talking. Okay. On my, where we have the 2 together, anywhere where you have your 2 together on my second one. So I'm coming in, I'm going to do a single back loops, just so it can give that face effect. Okay, I'm coming back in again and doing another double crochet on the same stitch as we've been doing. Nothing changes on this. Okay, now on the row 14, I have 2 together, and 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 12 alone. 12 alone, I think so. I hope I didn't make a mistake. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12. Yes, 12 alone, and on the 13th we added 2 together. Now this time we're going to add 2 together on the 14, so we'll have 13 alone. Back loops only. Double crochet per stitch using these back loops. Trying to hide my leftover thread. Okay, so 13 double crochets per stitch alone. So I've done 13 double crochets alone. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13. On my 14th, which ends up on your second double crochet. From the two together, we're going to add another double crochet in the same stitch. That's the increase, okay? And then again, 13 alone and 2 together on your 14th. Okay, so I'm going to continue mine until the end. Okay, everyone, we're getting into row 16. I've closed in with a slip stitch. Now we're going to turn our pattern to the back. We're going to work this row 3/4 of the row because it will be these loops we're doing here. So on the small one, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 groups of 5 singles. That's what we're going to work on now. 9 groups of 5 singles, space of 4 chain, 4 double crochets going into the 5th with a 5 chain. We'll get into it. So you're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 loops of 5 chain. So we've turned to the back. Okay, I'm going to do a 1 chain just to get me started. I'm going into the next double crochet with a single. We're going to do 5 singles. We're going to build groups of 5 singles. That's what I was talking about on the small Santa Claus, but I'll show you in a second again and explain better because you'll understand better this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 singles and 5 chain now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 chain. I'm going to skip 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm going to come in my 5th with a single. We're going to repeat these groups of single, the 5 singles, 3/4 of the pattern. I don't know how many yet. Maybe it's going to be like 14 loops, and it will be 15 groups, but I will let you know. You could always advance the video. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 chain. 1, 2, 3, 4 on the 5th, single, and again 5 singles. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'll just explain to you again. So we have the singles on here and then the 5 chain loops. Here on this one, I have 9 groups for the small one, 9 groups of 5 singles, and 8 chains of 5. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 chain 5s. And on the medium, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 groups of 5 singles, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 loops of 5 chain. That's on the medium one. Okay, this one I'm not sure yet. I think it's about 14, 15. I'm not sure yet. So I've started with my singles on here, and I need to do 3/4 of the way because one section will be left open for the hat. Okay, so I will let you know once I am done. We need this section here open so we can glue the hat on. Okay. Okay, everyone, so I have 15 loops. I think this is a good size for the hat for this pattern. So I have 15 chains of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. That means I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 groups of 5 singles. Okay, we're going to turn back, we're going to turn back around. To the right side. Okay, so we're going to turn back to the right side. I'm going to come over, I'm going to do one chain. I'm coming over on the next singles with a single. 1, 2, and 3. So we're not doing the first single and we're not doing the last. We're doing 3 singles, coming in that 5 chain, and we're going to do 10 double crochets. We're going to repeat this on top of these motifs. Okay, so 10 double crochets. So I have 10 double crochets. We're going to skip the first one, come into the second single with a single, no chain. So we're doing second single and third. So skipping the first. After we've done our 3 singles, come back in your 5 chain and do your 10 double crochets. We're going to repeat this until the last one, and then I'll come back to you once I am done. All 15 of them in 16 groups. So we'll skip the first, going to the second, 1, 2, and 3. We don't do the last either. I'll meet you at the end. Okay, everyone. So basically this would be row 17. We stopped at 15 with the double crochets. We did the 5 singles. That's the 16th row with the 5 loops. And row 17 with the 10 double crochets. So we're going to turn around again. I'm going to come in the center of the single. Okay, so we're not doing the first nor the last. I'm skipping that first double crochet and I'm coming into the second double crochet with double crochet, 1 chain space into the next one, double crochet, 1 chain space into the next one, double crochet, 1 chain space. So we're going to have a total of 8 double crochets. We're not doing the first and we're not doing the last double crochet. Okay, so very simple. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 double crochets and 1 chain space between them. We are not doing the first and we're not doing the last. I'm coming in, we have 3 singles. I'm coming in the middle one, the second one, with single. And again, skip the first, go into the second. Okay, you guys, I've reached the end with 8 double crochets, 1 chain space between them, and directly into the center with a single. Okay, so I'm going to close in with a single right in the center. And I'm also going to do a slip stitch right at the edge here, just so it doesn't have like a pointy tip. Okay, so we're going to turn around. This is the last row for this piece. Okay. I'm going to do a slip stitch again, and I'm going to come in with a single between the first and the second double crochet. Between the first and the second double crochet with a single on the first space. 1, 2, 3 chain, coming back in, single. So we're making these little loops. They look like the peacocks, but they're not the peacocks. So next space, single, 1, 2, 3, chain, come back in with a single. That's all there is to it. Next space, single, 1, 2, 3, come back in again. Next space, single, 1, 2, 3, and again. Single, 1, 2, 3. Big shout out to Maggie Jean-Baptiste. Shout out to Lila Irwin and Roger Irwin. Sending much love to you guys. To my girl Lisa San Martino. Big shout out to you, my dear. Karen Young, my mother, or should I put it, administrator of my group. 1, 2, 3. Okay, and into the last one. To Suzanne and to Sue. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we have 7 3-chain loops. Now, here I'm going to go to the back on that single we did in the center, remember? Inside. I'm going to do a front post single like that, and then come back in again and repeat everything again. Single, 3 chain, and single. Next space, single, 3 chain, and single, single, 3 chain, and single. So I'll meet you at the single again just to show you again. Okay, so I've done my 7 3-chain loops again. So we have that single here on the center. I'm going to go in to the back and into the side and do a front post single. Okay, and then directly again into that first space on the motif. Single, 1, 2, 3. And continue on until the end, and then you can cut your thread. Okay, this is row 18, which is final for the center pattern. Okay, you guys, I've reached the end. I'm just going to come here where I have the single that we did with a slip stitch. Okay, I cut my thread and tuck in your loose ends. So I'm just going to pull into the back and make 2 or 3 knots in between the stitches back here just to secure that nothing will come apart. So I'm going to make a knot here. And then go through some of the stitches just to get that thread hidden a bit. And at least we know that this is not going to go anywhere. Okay. Now, I usually block my patterns, especially if you're new. For the ones that follow me know that already. I use laundry softener. It doesn't matter which one it is. Mixed with a bit of water. I just spray it, stretch it. Now you can leave it at a surface to dry, stretch it well, and it becomes all nice and flat. Or in my case, I don't have time to wait for it to dry, so I can do the little video at the end and the pictures and all that. So I light iron with a bit of steam over it, and it's good to go. Oh, and it smells wonderful. This makes perfect gifts, if anything. If you don't want to use it on your table or any other display, but it's just excellent as gifts, okay? Now, to start off the white part of the Santa Claus, what you do is, and this is for people that are even going bigger. So you'd come where we have those singles there, and you'd measure to the other singles. I have 22 centimeters, so you need a chain about 20, 21, because the other 1 or 2 centimeters will stick out at the end. Okay, so I'm going to go back in with my white. Slip stitch, and I'm going to do my chain about 20 centimeters. Okay, chain stitch. Okay, everybody, so I have 20 centimeters on here. That's going to give me to the beginning of the single. Okay, and that's okay, because with the double crochets we need to do here at the edge of the corners, we have 7 double crochets to create here at the corners. This is going to fill in the rest of that. Okay, so total I have 50 chain stitch. Okay, 50 chain stitch. Now I'm going to do 1, 2, 3. Okay, let's start that again. 1, 2, 3, 4. On my 5th, I'm going to do double crochet, and 1 per each chain all the way to the end. Okay, so 1 double crochet per each chain until the end. I'll come back to you at the end. Hey everyone, so I have 43 double crochets. Just want to remind you that the small one, I done 34 chain stitch. That's right, 34 chain stitch. Then went back to the 5th space and created the double crochets. Okay, and the medium one, I've done 36 chain stitch. Okay, 36 chain stitch on the medium one, and went back to the 5th and created my double crochet. Okay, so now we are going to create 7 more double crochets inside of this same space. So 1 on the last stitch, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. I'm going to come on that first one and do my double crochets all the way to the end and create 7 on the other side also. Okay, so you have these little lines down here. You see the little stitch down here, and that's where I'm doing my double crochets. Make sure you don't miss any, because then it becomes a problem. Stretch your pattern time to time and look at it if you missed a loop or so, because if they're not tight enough like this, then you know that there's a space missing. That means you missed one. Okay, so you have to be careful on that. So I'll meet you at the end. Okay, everyone, so I'm reaching the very last one here. Okay, and now I'm going to do my 7, 1, 2, 3, all in the same space, the last one, 4, 5, 6, and 7. I'm going to come on my chain from where I went up and close it in with slip stitch nice and tight. Okay, so I'm just going to stretch it to see if I'm good. And I am good. I can see that I'm good because this stretches anyway and it's going to be glued on. Okay. So now I'm going to cut my thread and we're going to start with the red. Suggestion for you, if you're going way bigger and you, well, before anything, let's leave the loop like this. Let's grab from the back, bring this loop here, and let's make a knot back here on it. Okay, and it also looks like you have all the stitches in at the same side, but it really didn't matter even if you didn't, because this is going to be glued. But I'm just showing you the technique of getting it to look like it's all one piece stitched. Okay, and this will be glued onto the pattern, so just hiding a bit of my string. Okay, as I was saying, so if you're planning to go way bigger with this, then you can go 2 rows on the white for the hat, so the hat doesn't look too silly and too small as the thing here. You know, you can go another row and you'd have a nice thicker band for the hat. Okay, on to the red now. So I've done my slip stitch knot on the red. And I'm going to start on the very first one. So you have the 7 inside. I'm going to start on the very first one here with single. Turn this thread so I can hide a single and 1 chain. Now my first double crochet. Actually, we have to use back loops on this front row. I don't know what I was thinking. Let's redo this again. So this front row, to have that effect, we're going to use back loops only. So my first double crochet right after the 7, I'm grabbing back loop and single. I'm going to turn this little loop to the back and 1 chain. That's my first double crochet. Coming into the next one, back loops only. So I'm going to do this all the way to the edge until my last double crochet, but not the 7 that's in the edge. Okay, so I'll meet you at the end and tell you how many I have. Okay, everyone, so I have 41 double crochets. We're going to turn around. I'm going to come back in the same one. You can do your 3 chains up if you wish. I'm going to do my first double crochet. This is too loose. I got to tighten it a little bit more. I'm going to do my first double crochet with a single and 1 chain. I'm going to do 2 incomplete double crochet. So now I have 3 on the hook. I'm going to close it. We need to decrease, right? And then 1 per stitch. When we come to the end, we're going to do 3 incomplete before the end double crochets. I'll meet you at the end. 1 per stitch now. Okay, everyone, so as you can see, I have 1, 2, and 3 left. We're going to do 2 incomplete again, so we'll have 3 on the hook And this is going to be a repeat all the way until you have 3 left. That's the tip of the hat. And we close it. On this last one here, I'm going to do a double crochet. So in reality, by doing this, we're only cutting 1 on each side, decreasing 1 on each side, okay? Now, again, I'm going to turn around, of course, my single, my 1 chain. You can do your 3 chain however you start your first double crochet. And here again, I'm going to decrease by doing 3 incomplete and close, 1 per stitch, and we're going to repeat the same thing at the end. Again, on this side, we're going to do the 2 incomplete and 1 double crochet on the last one. So 1 per stitch again, and I'll show you again one more time at the end. Okay, so we've reached the end on this side also. That means we have 1, 2, 3 left. In reality, if we look close, don't forget we've closed them together. That's why we have less 1. If you look at the double crochets, we have 1, 2, 3, and 4. That's because they're closed together. But up top, this is what's important. 1, 2, 3. So now I'm going to do the 2 incomplete again. And close the 3 chains. Do the double crochet on this last one. Okay, and turn around. And again, I'm going to come in my single with a single 1 chain on the first double crochet, incomplete again, 1 and 2. So we're going to close all 3 out, 1 per stitch, 1 double crochet. Okay, getting to the end, we're going to have 1, 2, and 3. So when we're here, we're going to close 2. That means we're going to take out 3 loops and do a double crochet at the end and then turn around. I'm going to continue mine all the way to the end. At the end, you're supposed to have 3 left, which I'll meet you at the end with the 3 that we're going to complete together. Okay? Okay, for some reason, the last 3 double crochets that I did create on the big piece, let me just get the big piece out. I don't know, for some reason, it did not record, but there's, I guess you'll see it better on this one. So there's 3 double crochets left at the end, and I just do 3 normal double crochets at the end. So 1 here, 1 there, and 1 there. And then I just slip stitch on the last one. Bend the size that you think is proper for you. Like the big one, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. About 8 rows bent. Or better yet, hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. On your 10th row. So I have it flipped on my 10th row here. And at the last one, I did the 3 double crochets. I made 2 3 knots there. And of course, there's the glue on top with the pom-pom. Okay, so I've knotted 2 or 3 knots into the corner here just to have it secure. And you can see there's 2 3 knots there. I don't know what happened to the recording. Time to time, these apps are like something else. It's so frustrating. But thank God for some of the viewers that let me know sometimes certain rows are missing, and they let me know, and when I can do it, I will demonstrate and do a little video and attach the links to it. Okay, everyone, we're going to do the pom-pom for the hat. So magic circle or your 4 to 5 chain, depending upon your tension. We don't want a big hole, so I've secured with slip stitch, doing a single 1 chain. That's my first double crochet. I'm also doing 11 more inside of the circle. So I'll have a total of 12 double crochets. And this will be the same thing for the nose also, and pretty much the eyes. So 2, 4, 6. The only difference is because the pom-pom is bigger, I'm doing double crochet, not double crochet, singles on the next row. So 12 double crochet. I've done my 12 double crochets, pulling on that magic circle. I'm going to close in on my first chain here from the single one chain, but I need to grab both loops, not just one, or it's going to open up the pattern. Slip stitch. I'm going to do one chain and come back in the same one just to get my first single and one chain. On the next one, I'm going to do, so these are halves, okay? I'm going to do 2 halves on the next stitch. On the next one, 1 half alone. On the next one, 2 together. It's just to get enough height and thickness for it. Next one, 1 alone. Next one, 2 together. I had recorded this and I don't know what happened to the recording, and as I was editing, I've noticed that it's missing. Time to time these apps do that, and it's so frustrating because I mean I catched it on early enough to, you know, show you guys, but sometimes I don't catch it on, and thank God for some of the viewers. They let me know row this or that is missing. Okay, so 1 alone, 2 together. So very simple. And then of course the other thing that got cut off was on the red, but I'll explain it on the red. Okay, so basically you do that. And what I did was I glued it on, but backwards, so we can have this effect on the pom-pom when you're going to glue it on. Okay, even the eyes, I had glued the eyes and the nose backwards. So basically, because this is the big one, I've also done 12 double crochets, and I've done a half, 1, and next space 2 together, half double crochets, 1, next space 2 together. Exactly the same thing as we did with this one for the eyes. And also for the nose, I've done, actually the nose I've done 12 double crochets and singles, 2 singles on the same space, next space 1 alone, 2 singles, 1 alone. Okay, now for the smaller ones, you just need to do double crochets because they're small. You don't have to make big ones. Okay, so that's easy as that. I've done my 12 double crochets. I'm going to come on the first one. And I'm going to close it in with slip stitch. I'm going to come back on the same one, and I'm going to do 1 single, 2 single on the same stitch, next stitch, single alone, next stitch, 2 together, 2 singles, next one, 1 single, next one, 2 together. We're going to do this all the way to the end. Now, this nose is exactly the same thing as the 2 eyes, so 12 double crochets, exactly how we did this one. Okay, so I've done my 12 double crochets. I know it's hard to see on camera, especially with the black, but this is exactly the same thing as the nose. If you're doing the small ones, all you need to do is just the 12 double crochets. But because this pattern is bigger, I'm going to do my 2 singles in the same stitch, next one, 1 alone, and you need 2 of these eyes, 2 singles, and then 1 alone. Okay, so it's exactly the same thing as the one we just did. You need 2 of them for the eyes. Okay, so the next thing you want to do is you want to place all of your things together. And I have, from here I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the lining, the row of 6 and 7, it's where I'm going to place my eyes. So you see what's best for you. And I have it on backwards. I want that to pop up. Okay, here I'm just placing this right in the center, a little bit more lower, and the must right on the center of the first one we did. Okay, and then I'm placing the mustache there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my markers so I know where I'm going to do his lips, okay, which I'll be having his lips on this row there. So I'm going to do it from under here, which I can cover a bit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, about 9 double crochets. And get my marker. About 9 double crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Whoops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so I know my lips are going to be done from here to here, which is in red. I'm going to do the slip stitch knot. And I'm going to pull right on the row. So 1, 2, 3. So on my third row, I'm going to grab this thread from the back. We're going to be doing just slip stitch. And I'm coming into the next one and slip stitch. This thread I'll tuck in after. Don't tighten it too much because it will pull on the pattern, so make it as loose, comfortably, not too baggy either. We don't want floppy lips. Okay. So just slip stitch right through it until I have my marker there. And then I can cut my thread a little bit longer. I'm going to pull this thing into the back so I can tie it on the back. In the next stitch here. So I'm pulling that to the back. And I'm going to pull this thread like a knot. I'm going to pull this thread right through it. So I can knot it back here. And then pull. And just go through the red and make 1 or 2 knots just to make sure that the lips are not going to come apart. Then everything else is glued on. So I'm just going through some of the red because we don't want that thread to be too short or else it'll fall apart. With the centerpiece here, just gonna tuck in between the row here on the loops, the first row. Go around and a couple of them at least, just so nothing comes apart. You want to secure your pattern. Even if you're doing like the chain stitch when you do your circle. You should always do that. Leave a little bit longer and do that, right? Now, I'm going to take out my marker and I'm going to pull also. This is going to be hidden anyway, but I'm going to pull. Should have stayed back here, but I didn't pay too much attention to it. Then I'll just dab a bit of glue on there, and it's not going to go anywhere. Okay, so now my lips are done. Like that. Okay, and I'm just going to warm up my hot gun glue and glue everything together. So I'm going to glue a little bit so it will stay in place. You don't want to overdo it with the glue, but you do all your edging here. Make sure that everything is glued in. And I'm just going to dab a little bit here because I don't want it to flop the hat. Okay. So I'm going to put a bit here just to secure it. Stretch it a bit. And then you'd put so you don't get anything stuck underneath. Okay, then you do the same thing for the nose. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Do it about here. And put that down just to secure it. And then go around it. So your eyes don't look cockeyed. Get your nose. Then you'd complete all the way around it. Well, this pretty much does it for this video, people. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what you think. And thank you for being here. And I'll have the little video and pictures at the end. God bless. Take care of yourselves and each other. And remember always to be kind. Thank you, everyone. Until next time. Bye-bye.